This is your daily market review for Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. Bear day on the calendar. Didn't end up being one during hours. After hours, it's looking a little different. As we know, it's earnings season, can be very choppy, very difficult to predict. Posting a lot of the earnings numbers on the Discord room, trying to keep people informed. You saw some traps today, in my opinion. And again, I think I'm on record saying the same thing, trying to be consistent. I still believe tech is the easiest short, especially semiconductors. And long-term, I like commodities. However, commodities, near-term, as we talked about, demand destruction, slowing economic growth, the potentiality for geopolitical risk, make them much more difficult. And again, I like financials and I like tech shorts, but will that happen near-term, long-term? That's the hardest part. Define your risk, and you got to do what you got to do. So we know after hours, again, I personally looked at AMD's numbers. They're right here. You tell me. Again, I don't know how anyone could pay what they're paying for future earnings. Google beat. Again, it looked like they're, 10.7%. They looked like they under-guided or under-promised, over-delivered. We'll see what happens coming up here. However, be careful. Again, the earnings reactions to First Solar, AMD, some of the names, be careful. And when I say earnings, be careful. Just knowing you can think anything you want, but you don't know the reaction until it comes out. And then sometimes you can have a great reaction, and then CEO, whoever's speaking at their conference call, gets asked a question, and boom, kapow. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. If you want to join the Discord room, links description below. If you'd like to chat, take 30 minutes. Whether you want to talk about trading, the markets, the economy, buying, selling, investing in real estate, would love to help you out. If you are looking at real estate and you get two agents for the price of one, I would love to refer you out to some of my greatest friends in the country. Again, I have a huge referral network. Would love to help out with that. Follow, like, subscribe, posting on Twitter. You know where it's at. All these videos, again, notification, ding, 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 ding. All right, CME Watch Tool. It's basically a lock. Next week, there is going to be one rate cut. Not really much to say to that. Bitcoin, breakout or fake out. This is where trading can be so fucking hard. Excuse my language. Because if you do an ABC pattern, you have a completed move, potentially. I guess I should use the full English language. But look what happened. We test the highs and back off. Now, Bitcoin bulls, MicroStrategy bulls. Long term, near term. Let's talk about both. Near term. High and tight is good. If you hit 74 and you back off and you hold 68,000, not a big deal. If you break right through it, straight line, cool. Watch for traps, raise your stops, and if it keeps going, awesome sauce. If you fail here, you come back to range lows. Make sense? Keep it simple, stupid? Cool. Oil, down again. Again, at geopolitical risk. Looks like Israel's talking about that. Everything going on in the Middle East should be done by the end of the year. Market pricing that in potentially today. That's my thoughts on that. Going to keep it simple. Natural gas. I don't know why I didn't refresh this last. Interesting, right? Big pop. Back to the range. Keep an eye on it. Again, I personally like natural gas. Hope it doesn't leave without me. But if it does go, there's going to be a lot of room on that movement. Make sense? Dollar. Today's action. Open high, close low. Worth a watch. The VIX comes right back down into it's just chopping here. Waiting to inflate, in my opinion. VIX chopping around, holding a higher base. Let's see, looks like an uptrend now. Just when do we wake up? End of the month? First 3 business days of the month? Next week? I don't know. You tell me. SPY. This is where you got to be careful with the options. Holding the 20-day, chopping around. Again, just playing games. Is it reloading at the 20-day, or is it, again, OpEx, TopEx, retest, fail, potentiality? Look at this. QQQ took out the highs of, what's today? Friday? Right now back under 500 at the close. We'll see. This one's a toughie. That is really sneaky hard. Right? That is very, I mean, that's like, what do you call it? Sneaky fast from, not Papa John's, Jimmy John's. Look at that, closes right at it. IWM, this is where it's hard to trust the market. Look at it all day. I know it's green, but you finish down $1. You want the IWM to lead. I'm telling you. If it's not, there's a problem. Yeah. Chopping, watching the ranges. Keep an eye on it. Gold. Gaps up, continues on. Here, I'm going to stay on record. This is the thing. I am bullish long term. You guys know this, right? We've been talking about this big ass cup and handle. Did not play this. It's okay. There'll be trades. This is start hopefully of a multi-year bull run. Keep an eye on it. Silver. Yeah, we like this long term. Play it however you must. 10 cuidado. Not breaking out. We'll see. GDX, right? You want to see the miners breaking out. They either have about to play catch up or they're about to get burned. That's my biggest concern. Because again, if the market tanks and the market pulls back, miners aren't safe. Gold can continue to rise, but miners aren't. Let's be careful. AEM holding up pretty well. They got earnings Thursday. AG. Again, I'm not bearish. I'm not bearish. I'm just not chasing. Holding up after breaking the downtrend. You're like, oh, you got to do. I'm like, no, you don't have to do anything. I'm not going to chase. I don't believe in chasing. I believe in attracting. Newmont gap down on its earnings. Again, this is things like you would see. This should not be dropping. Their growth rate, their earnings revenue is up 87%, 84%, 87.4%, or 84.7%. Look at the reaction. Then you see like a Tesla with growth of like 7%, up 20%. Telling you, somebody knows something about the miners. And again, when either that's a big trap, bear trap, or it's going to get ugly. It always, I can't remember. I don't remember a time when the miners didn't get whacked. Keep an eye on it. PAAS, same kind of thing. Taiwan Semi, not surprised, oversold bounce, right? It goes from 214 down to retest the range highs, hold highs, bounce, okay. Keep an eye on it. I got to pull up the 10 minute because the 10 minutes are going to be where all the fun is. After hours is back at 196. Not much, honey. Micron. Talked about this just compressing here while I was back down after hours. Okay. Again, looks like a double top. You can see it there at the 115 level. AMD after hours. Again, earnings look fine to me. Got up to 169, back now at 157. 157 is... Does it break the trend tomorrow? Again, I don't care about the earnings. Your guess is good as mine. I mean, it's the reaction. NVIDIA has been holding up pretty well. Okay, we'll see what happens. I mean, this to me feels like a chop top, but it might be waiting on earnings. SMCI said this felt like it was just ready to go. Okay, watching the 20-50 day starting to curl up. It makes sense to me if that one you went long. That Intel, this thing is a doo-doo pie. It's going to get delisted at some point. Don't get mad at me for saying that. SMH, nice rally today, right? Okay, looks like, is this a left shoulder, right shoulder? After hours down in the 255s. I mean, again, I like the Soxus in the 18, 19, 20 range. I mean, again, if you want to bring a ruler and be exact, I get it. Adobe, nothing. Apple, chopping at the highs. Earnings on Thursday. I mean, I would be more nervous than I would be confident at this point. Especially if chips are slowing down. We know their sales are sucking. You're near the highs. There's a lot of room for mistakes. We'll see what happens. Maybe it pops and then flops. Amazon, 192 after hours. I don't know if there's news on that one. Seems to be stuck there. We'll see what, I mean, again, it's hard to know after hours what's going to open at tomorrow. Meta, nice pop, right? I know Snap had earnings today. Just curious what that is doing. Snap is all over the place. It's at 12. Okay. Then back to 11. You can't see. You go check it. Just curious. Because again, usually Meta will follow. Or not necessarily follow, but it'll be affected by it. Let's just say like friend of a friend. CRM broke out today. Yeah. I don't know what to say. I guess the gap is filled. Is there another gap there? Yeah. All gaps, do they fill? 314 is the next one. Sorry, I don't know how to zoom out. Keep an eye on it. Again, that's not one I've liked the idea, but This to me feels very sneaky, if that makes sense, right? Gap down, build a base, you break out. Where do you fail, or are you going to keep going? That's the question. I don't know if I would trust it in this economy. Google, 178 after hours, filling this gap. Oh, wait, hold on. What gap am I talking about? That's not the gap. It did actually get to 181. Okay. Here's your line in the sand for gaps. I'd be just curious. I mean, that'd be interesting to see what happens, though, after hours, meaning tomorrow morning, where it opens at. Keep an eye on it. Again, Google, I mean, if you short it, this is why you could have great trades, but you have to close them out before earnings, potentially. Microsoft, chopping around. NDAQ. Got above 76. Yeah. Okay. Again, stop out if you have to. Worth watching. Again, I think tech is not the future. I'm telling you. Not the future, meaning not the future, but the money flow will be into other names, commodities, materials, industrials. MicroStrategy, hopping, 1.618. Congrats. I know people doing excellently on that one. Netflix, chopping around. Keep an eye on it. Petoblock's been chopping around after the news. Again, I like this stock. I think this thing has value. If it pulls back enough, it will get bought out, in my opinion. PanW, again, cybersecurity is a big issue long term. Holding the 20-day. Double top, or just this like a very complex head and shoulder. Sorry, not head, like cup and handle. A funky handle. Tesla, makes sense now. I thought at some point it's going to start pulling back. 3-day rule came in. Okay, you got to hold 256. I think this is about to get burned. Insight. Oh, what happened today? Broke out on volume. You're welcome. Again, I wish I owned more. Want to own more in the 50s. Told you I think this thing's going higher. You're welcome. If you own this and you put this in there, leave a comment below. I'm just curious. Palantir, holding up really well. Talked about this. Just keep an eye on this. This is like high and tight. Doji's kind of pulls back up to the highs. But you have to see now, you need the breakout at some point. McDonald's, they might get it into the end of the month. It's been holding up really well. McDonald's, look at that. Pops, hits the 302, backing off. DKNG, I mean, this thing's going nowhere fast. Airbnb, gap fill. I mean, could we get up to the next one? 200-day? That's always possible. I personally have not shorted this, but I know real estate sucks. I mean, all these cities and states are putting on these laws for this stuff. It's just not friendly. It is just not friendly at all for Airbnb. Just keep that in mind. It's just not. Don't know what to tell you. Costco. Is this about to get punished? Man, look at that wick. 100-day. Starbucks, as we talked about, they had the kitchen sink quarter. Let's see what happens now. It's been choppy zone. Keep an eye on it. FedEx. To me, this one's... It's very clear that there's resistance here. I would love to see a little higher. Caterpillar. Here you go. Watching this, because if it breaks the lows, you know where it goes. South. DE, Deer. This is what makes it interesting, right? Chopping around. Can't get over those highs. Worth watch. Nucor. Dead cat bounce or bottom. I mean, that's the thing, right? We like this stock long term. X. Holding up really well. Someone thinks something's coming. We'll see what happens here. Again, not too interested in chasing. VALE. Talked about global growth names. I mean, China about to do another $10 trillion stimulus. I don't even know what trillion yuan. I can't remember the conversion on that. Something crazy, but are they? What are they? Why are they doing a big stimulus? Arrow, 200-day. Again, we like copper. CCJ. You said this is all the best priced in near term. Now it's chopping. You're welcome. Watch the 20-day high and tight is bonus. Holds up good. CF. Again, ag names. Come on down. Mosaic, come on down, you hear? Come on down. Come on down. Yep, NTR, same thing. Let them chop around. Nothing really to say. We love aluminum long term. Watching this one just had its divot today. I'm just like, there's not much to say on some of these names. XLF, this is where it's interesting. The market is cranking. XLF closed at the low of the day. Now I know it's not a big candle, but these are starting to curl down. Keep an eye on it. Again, I think it makes sense to short this stuff. If you shorted JP Morgan at like 225 area, you're feeling pretty darn good. just to have stops. Morgan Stanley, and if you shorted this up here at like 120, feeling pretty good. Bank of America. Buffett can't sell this stuff fast enough. Making lower highs. We'll see. Goldman Snacks, chopping around. There's really not much to say about Goldman chopping here. You have a reference around 527. I don't know. Carry. Keep an eye on Carry. Again, we talked about junior banks. How many banks are going under every week? It's like how much the losses are astounding. Keep an eye on it, right? XBI. This is a classic risk-on name. Chopping. I mean, sometimes you just don't know. Jets acting. Aaron Rodgers took over today. If you're following the Jets, again, any of the folks in the Discord, leave a comment below if you like that reference. Aaron Rodgers is on board, meaning JetBlue went not good. Not surprised, though. We had a little bounce with the market holding, but this feels like an island floating reversal. Look at that. Keep an eye on it because that thing could get punished. People are like, why are you laughing? Yeah, I like that Aaron Rodgers reference. XHB again. DR Horton. Oh my god. I know it bounced back. Because, I mean, look at the math. Not surprised, but okay, we'll see. End of the month, trying to get sneaky with it. Keep an eye on that one. XRT. Right? Keep an eye on these indexes. Like, man, retail not looking good. Going into the holidays, that's kind of surprising. It's looking at Northrop Grumman. If someone's expecting peace, yeah, that makes sense why this is starting to roll over. I was just kind of perusing through. Good old solar after hours. You can thank for solar for this. I mean, oh man, back at 37. Okay. There you go. Keep an eye on it. Sedge. So this is going to 15. It went to 15. Now it's chopping around after hours. Not much. ENPH, as we talked about, I don't think their technology is very good. But we are very clear that when you drop a large percentage amount, there's going to be dip buyers. Okay, there you go. 8 and 10 day. First Solar after hours. I mean, their earnings guidance, not good. Down at 189. Basically retesting the range lows. How fun is that? Popping around. Yeah, we'll see. And if you short into earnings and you hit that one, congrats. HYG, again, you got to be out of your mind to buy corporate debt, in my opinion. Let's end it with oil and gas pulling back today. Not surprised. UNG chopping around. It doesn't follow the futures that great sometimes. Keep an eye on that. KLD. Again, I think there must have been a reset of the future price. That's why that gap up. I apologize. I did not do my homework on that one. But again, I'm just not interested in this. I'd love to see this up in the 80s. It's just, I'm not even going to look, pay attention to it. XOP, 2-day range. Look at this. Railroad tracks. We talked about failing up here. Not long-term failure, but I mean, it makes sense to let these pull back. CVE, same thing. Kind of watching the 16 range. Valero, gasoline, right? Gasoline leads, making new lows. Something doesn't make sense. It's worth an eye on it. Again, geopolitically or demand destruction from slower economy. ExxonMobil looks like it was going to break out. Gives it back up. Occidental, long-term fan of this. Buffett knows what's up. Let it trade in this big arse range. Man, would love to pick some up in the 50 area. I mean, sorry, the 40s. Did I say 50? I mean, like, get down into here. Oops. Let's just get rid of that real quick. I'd love to see it down here. I can't draw. Whatever. Moving on. EQT, again, natural gas exporter. We're going to be it. I think so. Chopping around, last but not least, Flex LNG. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. Leave a comment, share, like. I appreciate all the love, support, generous donations. You guys are amazing. Please be safe, though. It is earnings season. You know, we've got big earnings Thursday. You've got jobs numbers on Friday. Is it going to be easy? Probably not. All right. Have a great evening. Talk to you guys and gals later. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.